What a freaking bummer, dude. I recorded all of this thing for like super long and didn't say a single word. So we're gonna start with how I ended this video on the update. Look at that incredibly blue rare steak. That is sexy. This is how you celebrate an end of a 2-day fast and winning your first tournament in 9 years. Now, the whole discussion was about the business model, all right? Also, I'm Brian. Also, if you don't know who I am, I'm Jabron Akhtar. I'm a former alcoholic turned athlete entrepreneur, and I'm trying to live the dream of starting a impactful big business and also trying to be an athlete. So yeah, today we're going into the business model of Beyond Tennis, my business that I'm currently working on. So let's get into it. If you don't know what Beyond Tennis is, it's my partner and I's, well, really my coach and I's online tennis coaching business. It is, it's all based on his system called the nonlinear system, which is a projective geometry. It's all this cool, fancy stuff that makes you play beautiful and effortless tennis, but that's Beyond Tennis. Anyway, let's get into the video. We're talking about our business model today. I've been really thinking about it. Our lowest tier offer, I kind of come to a really great idea that I think is the product that's going to help players and coaches. What I've done before was I kind of got rid of any offering that would have been good for coaches, but now I brought it back and it really makes sense. So we have 3 offers. The lowest offer being the coaching library at $497 upfront plus a $97 per month payment, which also comes with a monthly video analysis. So as a player, you are getting that monthly checkup, kind of like when you go to a doctor's office. You're always getting that continuous improvement and you're getting feedback, right? You're not just left alone. So I think that's great. You have the $1,000 a month, twice a week coaching, and then $2,500 a month, the GOAT plan, unlimited coaching. But at the time, there was nothing for coaches. And I really realized that there is something that's missing here. So we initially had this Q&A deep dive lecture that would dive deep into a topic and with a Q&A. And that was a part of that paid community thing, right? Collectively, that was like $150 a month, which I changed the pricing to $497 plus $97 a month now. Think about that Q&A, right? That is really important. I'm gonna come back to that. Now let's go to the free community. I've been thinking about it for several weeks now, and I just would rather have much more engaged community, even if it's 5-10 people, than a big number of 225 where like no one's engaging. I'd rather be talking with people that really wanna know the system and really talk about it and really get into the details and really learn and grow and have revelations every day than people that are kind of know the system, don't know the system, aren't engaged enough to know it, don't care enough about it. You know, I want it to be the people that this is their tennis life, you know what I mean? And they are so into this that they are willing to be in that community all day to learn all they can out of it, right? And then share their knowledge too. That would be a great community. So I've been contemplating removing everyone out of the community, closing it off to only our paying members, and then going hyper on that, hyper focused and like making it engaged and helping those people that are in really learn, right, together. I can actually implement some of my more community ideas of like us actively learning together through not checks and balances, but like having accountability partners and stuff, which I didn't actually include in the last recording that had no audio. We still got audio, which is great. But what happens to the free community members? Well, I'm just gonna consider them all the newsletter people, okay? Because they're also all in the newsletter. Because those people they're not gonna be engaged enough. Now, there's three more problems, right? Whenever somebody in that free community had a question, I had no choice but to give away the how in the answer, right? I couldn't really answer with a general question for myself. Maybe Jack could if it was a general question, but sometimes they ask specific things about a certain topic and you have no choice but to give away the how. The problem is that that's for the paying members, right? And you don't want to cannibalize yourself. So I felt sometimes that I had to hold back in my answer, even though I didn't want to, because I love giving away information. So now if it were a paying member, 100% I would have given way more detail, which I was already giving like 99% detail. I just wouldn't feel internally guilty anymore. That was a big problem, is just like every answer I had to give back to a question for the free members in the community was a how question. But the what and the why is public and free. The how to implement the system, right? Which Russell Brunson calls it implementation. You sell the implementation, that's the how. That's for the paid members. So that's another big problem with the free community. And anyway, so I've been 99% certain I want to get rid of the free community. And I was in the car ride back having these thoughts, and I was texting JC and Jack, who I consider both to be my coaches, my match thoughts and my feedback and how I felt in the match. And I got super detailed. I even was like, you know, there's a misconception about the power of slowness and going slow into the hit. You can't just go slow into the hit because you're gonna actually have no power. You have to go slow into the hit, but get more convex, right? And you have to get deeper into the hit. Because when you get deeper into the hit and go slow, that's what allows that ball to really sink into the strings and have power. But if you forget those 2 extra parts, there's no power. So that's a thing that I would be like, dude, I literally almost texted after I sent that message. This should be for a mastermind. Like, we need to start a mastermind, because I know other coaches would love that. I know other players would love that. I'm having revelations every week when I play these matches and these tournaments, which is why it's so important to always be a player, even when you're a coach, right? Always be playing, because you get to be in the shoes of the player and you get to keep learning. Audio's good? Great. I know as coaches, they're also learning every week. They're giving lessons every week, learning new things. I've seen it in JC. He's always having new revelations, new ways to say things. If other coaches had new ways to say things, right? And I hear it from that coach, I'm like, that's great. I'm going to take that from you and apply it here. I basically steal everything from Jack in terms of how he says stuff, and I say it to the students at Inverness, right? Because I love the way he says it. It really connects with me. And I've seen it connect really well with their students at Inverness. So I'm just sitting there and I'm like, dude, imagine instead like this kind of mini mastermind I have with Jack and JC. If we had this with all the coaches in the system, it would be incredible. That's what I was like, that's what we should do. We should just turn this into a mastermind, bring that back, that Q&A deep dive. I told you to remember that, right? That's why it's so important, because that is the time, like my dad always says this, is that our thoughts, most people can't just think of it in their head. It doesn't complete the thought. When we talk aloud, that's how we complete our thoughts. When we collaborate with other people, right, it becomes a combined thought, and 2 minds are better than 1, 3 minds are better than 2, 4 better than 3. The more thought we have, the more people we have collectively working together to complete this thought or this idea, the more powerful it becomes, the more that we learn, the more that we grow. Basically having this mastermind, it's a once a week thing, Q&A, unlimited time, right? I was listening to this My First Million podcast the other day. The guy was giving stories about how he's friends with Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett. And one of them was giving this talk and he's like, hey, I have the whole afternoon free, so fire away with all your questions. I'll go as long as you want. 4 hours went by. And that's when they had no more questions left. Not after 15 minutes or 30 minutes of Q&A, 4 hours. But then at the end of 4 hours, they were like, you guys have any more questions? And they're like, no. He's like, okay, well, I'll see you guys later. So I'm kind of thinking this Q&A can be a real unlimited session, like once a week. When all the questions are over, the questions are over. Everyone's gotten super incredible knowledge. I would love it as a coach. I would love it as a player, because now I'm getting to collaborate with all these coaches, other players that are really into it, getting everyone's insights, getting all the insights from Jack, and no bullshit deep dive. It's what I want to talk about, my Q&A. It's what I have questions of, right? That's the new offering. To summarize, now it's a whole coaching library. So all the people that are in that community, all those members, all have knowledge of the system. Monthly video analysis, great for players, right? They're getting that continuous checkup. And now the deep, like, not, I'm not calling it a deep dive, Brian. It's a mastermind once a week. Everyone like full out. We are collaborating. We are the mastermind. That is why it's called a mastermind, because it's a mastermind, bro. It's huge. It's like the one, like one mind. Collective consciousness. Can't talk. Collective consciousness, baby. $497, $97 a month. I think the offering is fucking sick. And then you got the $1,000 and the $2,500. Great for the student. I think it's important to do these updates. Things could change. I want to have the documentary, and I hope you guys learn some lessons from that shit, because it's fucking deep, bro. It's how my brain be working in the car. No, I'm kidding. I hate when I act like that. Yeah, that's the update. I'm really bad about ending these videos, so I'm just gonna end it because I will keep talking otherwise. Also, if you're wondering, this is how much steak I have left. I have to take a shit now. This is the first time the steak has beat me. Holy shit. Woo. That's the end of the video. Oh my god. My liquid shit is coming.
Yeah, trophies.
I know.